Welcome to Environment and Social Development Organization ESDO's new initiative. This is Zero Waste Community. We can talk about more about what is Zero Waste concept, what is the impact of this, and what is the management system of this community.
Zero waste is a vast concept, and it's, if you can think about, is larger than we are working. And zero waste always lies with this waste, type of waste. The first task is to identify your waste and what the waste categories. Then it's segregate in the source. Then it's goes to the management system. Environment and Social Development Organization are pushing forward with a zero waste community building in Bangladesh. This is a model project, and this project is developed within the current waste management system, and that's are not really manage the total waste stream. So if we can go for the permanent and sustainable waste management, there is no alternative of the zero waste. That's why lies in the 4R mechanism, that is refuse, reduce, reuse and recycle. We have to know what kind of materials we have to refuse. That is single-use material, single-use plastic, one-time materials that we are not using or recycling, so that should be discarded, that should be refused. If you go for the shopping, you can see that the plastic bag come up. So we have to determine and commit it not to take up the plastic bag. So plastic bag should not use, that is stop. Then we can use the alternative bags, that is jute bag or paper bags or cotton or biodegradable materials that we can use easily. If we can refuse that, we will reduce much waste from that stream. So then go for reuse. The material we can reuse in different ways that we should reuse, like of cotton and other materials. Then if we can go for recycle, so we can go for the recycled materials, and that could be. So this is the 4R mechanism in zero waste. So in that case, we have to think about the current situation. What is the current situation? So let's talk about the current situation of the waste management, its collection process, its dumping process, where this waste goes in the mainstream.
Why we are thinking of zero waste? Because the waste is not properly managed. When we see the waste going into the garbage, that is, it is all mixed up together. The plastic is there, vegetable waste is there, and then e-waste is there. Whatever waste we find at home, we put together at one place, and it goes to the dumping area. So the land is filled with all these things. You dig your land, you will find a lot of plastics and this and that in one place. That means this is all hazardous things are going into the soil. The municipal corporations or the city corporation, they are now better managed, that is for sure, but not segregating the waste. They are putting all the waste in one basket. That has to be segregated, that vegetable waste, then paper waste, then solid waste, like that it has to be segregated so that it is properly managed and the majority of the waste can be handled nicely. It cannot hamper the nature. This is one. The other thing is, if you look into this, those who are managing this, those who are engaged in taking the waste, they are in a very vulnerable situation because they don't know that how their health hazard is happening with this waste. Yes, because they don't have the education. So we should teach them that why they should behave like this and how they should manage it. So they will also have a healthy lifestyle.
So could you please share about the present situation of the collection process of the waste?
Our city corporation in the city areas, they have already introduced the waste collector came to our house and they collect all waste at one bin, one bucket, and they just segregate the 3 or 4 bags. This is also the plastic bags, so big plastic bags, but they segregate the other plastic things and e-waste and the kitchen waste and other things, just rubber and other things, but ESDO wants to introduce the new things. It's not exactly new things, but it is a systematic way. This system is collect from the home for the 4 bins. 4 bins is
That means the segregation from the source at the home.
source at the home. Yes. One would be a green bean, one would be a yellow bean, one would be a blue bean, and as well as the red bean. We can think about what is the green bean. It's all the biodegradable things will come to the bin, and as well as e-waste, electronic waste. It comes to in the yellow bin, blue bin. All metals is all, as well as glass, which is the broken the glass and plates, mirror and other things, which are the broken things over there. And the red bin is the most highly contaminated bin, medical waste and the hazardous waste. If it is in apartment house, at the ground floor it would be a 4 bin over there, and waste pickers will collect waste from over there, and they will come into their main bin. Main bin, that means it would be a vehicle, and 4 compartment it would be there, and the same color, and they will segregate from the home, and they will put it the segregated waste into the bin. We're talking about the zero waste and zero waste community. We can think about our waste picker health. They are working as a bare hand, and they don't have mask, they don't the gloves and others, the proper clothes. So they are directly contact with the waste, and they are directly contact with the hazardous waste as well. We should train them, the community people as well as the waste picker, to segregate all the waste, separate bin.
If you can see the total waste generation, 70% of the waste come up from the kitchen. That is organic waste. And this organic waste can be composed, turned to the compost material. Could you please say that how the people can compost it and how they can use it?
It's an easy way to collect. You can put your everyday waste 3 or 4 days. You can put it another pot over there, and they will use this compost is our rooftop gardening. So one thing is that from the home at the source, they will reduce. They will just finish the waste over there.
That means 70% waste reduction started from home. Then other way, the recycling materials that could be separated, and that goes to the recycle stream. So that is about 15%. So rest of the 15%, it is 5% are reusable, so we can reuse it, and 10% which is not reusable, not recyclable, not compostable. And that stream is completely the single-use materials. Single-use plastic, single-use materials, one-time use materials, multi-layer packaging, and that's 10% should be controlled under the regulatory frameworks. So the government need to be address this 10% and ban this kind of items, this kind of materials, so that we can easily reduce that 10% waste. That means at the end, it is a zero waste. So the community will build the zero waste easily.
And this is a pilot project. Government can replicate these projects after the successful of the projects.
How do you think that the challenge is to educate and learn the people about the mechanism of zero waste?
This is a very important issue, that how and where should we start. It is everything depends on the government, sometimes we say, but it's not only the government, but where the government has to address is the legislative reform of this waste management and the zero waste. So if government brings into the law that how this has to be managed and how people should follow. So the first thing is people will abide by the law when they know there is a law. Not only do the law, but the implementation of the law is also very important. How this can be done? It's not by force, it is by education. So first thing, we should also add it into the basic education. So basic education, while the children are going to school, they should practice it that they have to keep their compound clean, classroom clean. This is number one. And then they know what metals, where it should go, what material should be placed in which place. They should read about it, that how we should maintain the environment, what is hazardous to environment, so why we shouldn't use those things. So naturally they will carry back to home and say their parents, mother, don't do this, don't do that, this is not good for us, this is hazardous for the society, for the country. So naturally the implementation would be better. And simultaneously we have to also go and address the different community, the people in the community, through different organizations, clubs, societies, so that we should go and demonstrate and show them that this is what is happening to us today and how we can get rid of this.
So if you can imply with this zero waste mechanism, zero waste practice, we can easily manage this huge volume of waste, and it can be possible, it is definitely possible. So we need to go to educate, aware and involve the community as well as give the ownership of the community.
This model can be replicated anywhere in the world, and that can be the best of it, because the engagement of the community, engagement of the people always can be the best part, and in a very low cost manner.
This way will be the good waste management system, and if we replicate, city will be clean.
Populated country like Bangladesh can do it, it can be done anywhere in the world.
So let's go for zero waste. That is the final solution of waste management.